G'day folks, I'm here with my Sony Xperia Acro S and the Xtreme Guard screen protector, and this is going to be just about a 2-week review of the screen protector, and I'm going to do a bit of a durability test too. So review first. This thing performs pretty well, especially for the price. The installation went more or less the way I expected. I didn't quite follow the directions to the letter, so any negatives I do have about it I can't really put down to the product since I didn't follow the instructions. I used just a dishwashing liquid, which isn't what they advise, and yeah, so for that reason a few of the things I have to say about it might be my own fault, as I said. So the installation was easy. I've got another video about that which I'll probably slice in here. The clarity of the thing is, I can't fault it. It's yeah, it doesn't do anything to distort colours. I do have just a few, oh, it's a bit personal, just a few like pixels that aren't quite, the colour rainbows a little bit, but it's pretty close to adequate. Daylight might not have been the best choice here. Yeah, clarity's good. The touch is one area where it can stick a little bit at times. It feels good now. It's never lacks in response, but it can stick a little bit and just judder under my thumb a little. So that's something, you know, it's a drawback, and that's one thing I don't think I can put down to the soap that I used. So that one is a disappointment. I'd say that's my only real criticism, is that I guess maybe if there's a little bit of a sweat under my thumb it can be a little juddery, but as you can see, tracking's supreme. Use this a lot. Forgotten my way around the program, but there we go. And I'll try I'll wet my thumb here, just to show wet finger tracking even with the protector on. So as you can see, yeah, it's a little sticky here, but it's still tracking my every move. Not sure if you can see how wet that is. It's wet. So yeah, as far as performance goes, I can hardly fault it. It hasn't taken any visible damage so far. I've just chucked it in my pocket. I usually dust out my pockets before I put my phone away, which, call me crazy, but sand's the real killer, so I'm careful there, but it's still looking just as good as it was. You'll probably notice there's a few imperfections. Oh, that's handy, I can circle them. There's one here, here. Now these two are hairs that must have been my fault in installation, that I let get under the protector. This and these and this here are actually scratches that I did during installation. I must have done that with the applicator. So I guess I should have been a bit more careful there. I should have pushed a bit more of the liquid out first with my fingers before I got in with anything with a hard edge. So again, that's my fault. I'll know for next time. This is just a little bit of grit or something that was under there, and this white dot here too, something underneath. So cleanliness is really important in installation, of course. This corner here, I doubt that's going to show. Right on the corner, it's a bit rippled, and I think that's just because I left it wet there. I didn't go right to the edge with the squeegee. Not sure how best to try and show that up. Now there is, just if you try your hardest, you can find a mild, well, I don't know about mild, but there is a general ripple in the finish. I think that's what they call the orange peel effect, and you can only find it if you're really looking for it. Pretty much turn the screen off and look for a reflection, and you'll probably see the orange peel effect, but during use, zero visibility on that, so it absolutely will not bother you unless you want it to. So performance wise, I'm impressed. It's a little sticky to the touch. Otherwise, if I hadn't left any crap under it while I was installing it, apart from this sticky touch, I'd be perfectly happy with this as my screen protector. So those are the two drawbacks. Now part 2, durability test. I haven't harassed this thing at all yet, so I'll be as surprised by whatever happens here as anyone else. So first of all, probably a pretty basic test is the keys. This one was cut not too long ago, so it's got a bit of an edge on it. And I can already see where that's been, and I think that has left a groove. Yeah, that's not coming off with water. So you can scratch it with the edge of a key if you want to. But that was a fresh cut, pretty sharp key. Actually, I'm having trouble spotting that now. It is supposed to have a self-healing attribute, which I thought might be malarkey, but it is getting less and less apparent, and I reckon I'm going to leave that over a few days and see if it will disappear completely. So yeah, the key will give it a scratch. Unless things change over the next few days, you don't really want this thing in your pocket with your keys, unless you don't mind it getting scratched up on the surface. But of course that's not going to go through and damage the screen at all. That's only the it's really superficial. But I can definitely still make out some of those key scratches there, top and bottom. So it hasn't passed that one with flying colours, but if it repairs itself, it's good enough for me. Now there's not really any need to do this now, but I'm going to get a proper blade into it, and even that's very light pressure. Right now I could be barely putting less pressure on it. And it's definitely leaving a mark. Whether that will leave a cut, I don't know, but that's very, very light. So that was scissors here, here. Should really be leaving specific areas for specific damage, but I'm not that much of a science. So they don't actually look as bad now as what I thought they would. Some of them no more than the key scratch. So it's still not deep, but it left a mark. And last test I was going to do, and this one hurts me because sand is the worst, but I've got to do it. So this is what sand in your pocket will do. And if you're wearing tight jeans or anything, this is going to be probably about the sort of pressure that it'll be under it, or that it will be under. But funnily enough, I'm not seeing any large scratches there. It might be scuffing it on a smaller scale, but it's actually looking pretty good on the sand test. I'll try that wet and see if it makes a difference. Shouldn't make things any worse. Yeah, it's looking good on the sand test though. Now, one other thing I definitely want to do here. Funny, those scissor scratches. Yeah, they're really not that bad. I'll put some deeper ones in just to make sure. That's if I can. That should be cutting into it pretty significantly. This thing, it feels tough though. I don't think those demonstrations were making any false claims, because this does not want to give way to the blade. It looks like it's just denting it. So that might all buff out in time. Should be really impressive, but that I only went a little easy there because I really don't want to cut into the shatterproof sheet underneath or the actual screen itself, so I went a bit easy. But if you're pushing harder than that against your screen with a blade, you're an idiot. And it doesn't seem to have done any more than the light pressure, really. So time will tell. Last thing I'm going to do here is peel back the protector. Oh, I should mention too, it is picking up a little dust on some of the edges where the adhesive has either squished out past the protector itself, or the protector's overhanging the sheet underneath, which again is my own mistake. But on the left here, I don't think I overhung it, and it's still picking up some dust there, so I think the adhesive is a little bit renegade. So I'll give this a rinse off, and then I'm going to cut the sheet down the middle, and that'll give a side by side of with and without. Hope I'm not getting any of that sand on the front camera. So there she is, spit shined, and hopefully those nicks I put in it will be showing up now. Even the heavy stuff I did with the scissors, as I said, it's not bothering me right now, and I bet if I fire it up, oh, that is showing a little bit, just where it catches the light. This is the weather site, since I'm such an exciting guy. Alright, so here I'm going. This is the first time I tried uninstalling it, so this is going to be a learning experience for me. Feels about right the way it comes up. Oh, one other thing that I wanted to try to show, but that will be tough. There's a little bit of a snowy sort of an effect under the protector. If it's only if you're really looking for it, but on dead black it looks like a lot of little particles, and I think again that might be residue from the dish soap that I used. Stupidly, I used to concentrate. It's what I had, so that's what I used. But yeah, anyway, that might show up better on the side by side. So this is coming up nicely. It doesn't look like it's leaving anything behind. Still very sticky. Yeah, I don't doubt that that would have stayed on as long as I wanted it to. hoping for a clean cut there, but it grabbed the scissors. Should have seen that coming. Alright, well that was less than perfect. But anyway, that's the side by side. And I'm going to try leaving it that way for a little bit of time before I assess it again. You might be able to see it's just a little clearer without the protector on. Not sure how best to show it. Give this another quick wipe down. Yeah, this is a water-resistant foam, by the way, in case anyone isn't familiar with the model. The Acro S shouldn't have any troubles from this kind of immersion. I can see already where the protector wasn't on up here around the top speaker and the front-facing camera. It just doesn't look the same, and I think the screen protector's either cleaned it or it's picked up some muck right up where the screen protector didn't cover, which is just straight up from those items. So it looks like it's already done a good job shielding it from, yeah, either stuff settling on it or I don't know, it might actually be scuffed up there, but I'd kind of doubt it. Wouldn't be surprised too much either way. But let's take a look at how it performs side by side. I really doubt we're going to see any difference here. It's actually, it feels about the same. And you know, the more I think about it, the more likely it seems that it might actually be the same thing Sony use, although theirs is less sticky. One of these double taps should clear the thing. Pardon my unfamiliarity. Haven't used this app in a long time. I was hoping to get a bigger brush. Let's actually use a brush. That works. Yeah, so it feels closer to the same than what I thought it would. The way I'd remembered it, the screen underneath felt smoother than the screen protector, but now I don't even feel a difference with a dry finger on a clean screen. So that might even take, I'll wet my finger here, that might even take the sticky element out of the equation, which would just be another point in favor of the... God, how am I not even remembering what I just did? Here we are. Oops, I'm still on the fill tool. Right, brush tool. Color green. There we go. It's the same, folks. It's I don't know how well it's picking up the juddering. I should have done this in 60 frames per second, but it might actually even be smoother on the screen protector. So I like it even more than what I thought. I'd kind of been holding that juddery effect against it, but it seems you get that either way. App did not like that. So with a dry screen, fairly dry fingers. Oh, that's weird. Hello? Hello? That's better. Yeah, and I was going to play some video, but I don't think outdoors is really the place to do it. But like reflection's the same. There's just that little bit of orange peel on the screen protector. Other than that orange peel now, I'd say go for it, absolutely. It seems like performance is the same, but I will reserve final judgment there until I've spent at least a few days in half and half just to see what else pops up. So that's it for now, and I'll come back to this